Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. Today is Monday, September 5th. It's Labor Day here in the United States, and this is episode 129. So hello and welcome back to everyone. I think it's been a month since I sat down and recorded, and I'm sorry I've been gone so long. Things just got crazy and we were out of town, and then we had like one weekend in town, which we just had a bunch of stuff to do, and yeah, I think we've finally settled that back down to a somewhat normal schedule, although this is a 3-day weekend, which was absolutely insanely busy, but I have this like small window of time, and I've been accumulating a pile of things that I want to show you, and so I have this little quiet time while my husband's at work and before I'm going to something at my friend's house, so I thought I'd sit down and say hi to you all, and sorry I've been gone so long. So let's start with announcements. I guess I don't really have any. Other than I plan to be back on a normal recording schedule for at least the next couple weeks, and then I will be traveling to visit my brother in California and then my parents in Hawaii, and I hope to do some recording there. I plan on doing some recording there. I'm going to obviously take my camera and possibly some other equipment and definitely some knitting, and yeah, and so I'll do a little kind of vlogging, I guess, in Hawaii to just kind of show you how awesome it is and kind of where I grew up. So that's kind of the plan at the moment, but let's jump into some knitting. On the island, I actually have very few things. Yeah, so let's get started with that. I have, let's see, I have two things. I have some socks that I cast on yesterday because I was, a few days ago, one of the viewers, Jessica, hi Jess, texted me and was like, hey, do you want to hang out? Are you free this weekend? And I was like, I have this small window, Sunday afternoon, what are you doing? And she's like, oh great, I'm free. So we met up and walked around downtown Oak Park, which is kind of between where we both are, and we went to the knitting store there, and I may have picked up some things. But I didn't have any knitting. I had finished everything the day before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need some knitting. So I was running around my house trying to find things, and I found my Avengers minis from GnomeAcres. This is the bundle here. Ta-da. I know I've shown them to you before. And then I have this lovely gray in the same sort of base, and I'm using that as a striping. I don't know what's going on here. So this is what I have so far on the sock. Sock number 1. So yeah. You can see I got really far on that yesterday. But this is what, so Jess and I were hanging out. I cast the sock on, and while we were waiting for dinner, I knit this. So yeah. So this is going to be the heels, toes, and I think in between all of the Avengers. And that's the plan at the moment. I haven't even cast the second one on, but that's what these are going to be. And I had this plan for a while, so I have to actually wind these up. I'll probably do it by hand, because with minis it's pretty easy. And then, yeah, I'll do it similar to my Sesame Street socks that I know I've shown before. Yeah, so that's really what's on the needles at the moment. The other thing that's kind of on the needles, kind of set sail, is my sock yarn blanket. I knit a few squares on it, and it's now actually a rectangle. Woohoo! So this is my sock yarn mini blanket that I'm doing in kind of shades of like mint and yellow, and just kind of these light blues, and then grays and neutrals. So this, where's the middle? So this right here, you can see where the miters go. Let's see if I can kind of show you that. That's going to be the middle of the blanket, which is odd. I started in the middle, which is making things kind of challenging actually, as I've realized. I'm ending up having to like pick up on one edge like pick up here and then like knit, and then having to sew a seam here, which hasn't been a big deal because it's normally where I have like a long tail and I just use it to sew up a seam, and it's not really a big deal, and I just weave in the ends. But yeah, I've been trying to be more strategic about this. I can see why people start in the corner and then kind of work their way that way. That probably would have been easier, but oh well, I didn't make it easy on myself. So that's the sock yarn blanket at the moment, and I have a bunch of minis that people have sent me and that I've accumulated from different projects and things. So that I just knit a few squares on because I had my friend's birthday a few days ago, and we did a sleepover, and so I took 2 shawls that were almost done, and then I just threw some minis in with this, and I finished them all, and like Saturday night, and then Sunday I had no knitting. I was like, oh, this is sad. A long car ride and no knitting. It was a little sad, but it's okay. I had friends to talk to, and it was fine. I didn't have to drive, so that's good. Yeah, so that is coming along. I'm not in a hurry to finish it, but I'm having fun with it. So that's it for On the Island. Set sail, I have a pile. So I'm going to put my show notes back on my lap. I have them on my computer here. And we're just going to start with what's on top here. So I knit, of course it's not in the same order as my show notes. These are the Cobblestone socks by Mina Philipp out of GnomeAcres House Gnome in the Orangesicle colorway. And these are for another friend who just had a birthday, and actually one of my neighbors, and she loves orange, and she asked for some kind of no-show socks, so I knit her a pair of these. And yeah, so she's out of town right now. I'm actually watching her cat, but when she gets back in town I'm going to gift her those, but I had them to show you. And I have cat hair on my tongue. Joys of lots of cats. The other socks that I finished, actually I finished 3 pairs of socks. These are the Patriot socks for my brother, and I love them. He is going to love them. So his birthday is coming up, and I'm going to be celebrating it with him in California on my way to Hawaii. So I'm going to be able to gift these to him. So last time he texted me a picture of him wearing his socks, and he's like, I could use another pair. And I said, well, your birthday is coming up. He's like, oh yeah, it is. And I heard he planned on knitting these, so that was kind of fun. So these are going to be gifted to him, which he is going to love, especially since football season is starting or started. And so he's going to have fun wearing those while watching games. The other pair of socks I finished were the ones for my grandfather. They were the Circuitous ribbed socks by Susie White. The Patriot socks were just plain stockinette with my standard toe and heel. These were the Circuitous ribbed socks. And of course I've got them all nicely wrapped up. I actually haven't mailed them yet. I was going to, and then I didn't have his address. But I was at the post office, so I mailed some other things, and then I just haven't gotten back to the post office. So that is the pattern there. And I don't think I did it right. I kind of, like, I read it. It's really well written. It has nothing to do with Susie. Susie, you're wonderful. But I read it, and then, of course, I thought, oh, yeah, I totally know what's going on here. And I didn't, really. So, I don't know what's going on here. I've lost the other, there it is. Okay. I lost the other top of the sock in the wrapper. And so I think I did not enough rows in between the Circuitous ribs or the little cable thingies, but that's okay. It turned out well. I like it, and they're nice and stretchy, which will be really good for my grandfather, because he was complaining that his last socks were too small because his feet are swelling up, and because he's getting older, he's turning 90 this year, and so I was like, stretchy socks will be good. And this is a nice label that was sent to me by Amber Yarn Hoarders. So thank you so much. And I haven't written care instructions on the back. That's the other thing I need to do. But I need to have my dad translate them into Czech so that my grandfather can read them. So those are going to be mailed off to my grandfather very soon. So those are the 3 pairs of socks. And so socks, Summer of Socks Cal with the Bakery Bears podcast has come to an end, and I ended up knitting 17 pairs, which totaled about 12.5 inches, which is great because my goal was 12 inches. So sweet, I hit my goal. Yeah, I was planning on knitting more, and then all of a sudden I wanted to knit shawls, just shawls and shawls and shawls, and a sweater. So I didn't get as many socks as I thought I would get done, but I got 12.5 inches, so I'm really happy with that. So, yay for socks. But yeah, it was really weird to not have any socks on the needles for a little while, but I have socks back on the needles, so that feels really good. So those are the 3 socks I knit. Then the sweater, which you've probably seen if you follow me on Instagram, I did finish. So this is a Featherweight cardigan by Hannah Fettig, and it is out of Anzula Meridian, which is their lace weight, and it's in the colorway Gravity. And it is very lovely and very drapey and fits very well. So that's the back. I don't know if you can see me through that. But it's very airy, which is perfect for the wedding. And yeah, so I got the other skein just in time, and I was able to finish the ribbed border. And yeah, I think last time you saw it, I was working on the ribbing, and I had it on this really short needle. But it did block out quite nicely. And it did, when I was blocking it, I had to pull down on the collar band, button band, but there's no buttons. Because I had done it on a smaller needle size, which I like how it turned out, but there were some places where, I mean, I had to, it was smaller, obviously, but it looks so much neater. So this is the one I did on the same size needle. And then you can see this is the one I did on the smaller needle. And I think it just looks neater. This one looks neater than this one. But I did have to stretch it out a bit to make it the same length. But I'm happy with how it turned out, and I don't care that the ribs look different, because it's like the bottom and the sleeves look the same, and then the button band looks a little different, which is fine with me. But it was perfect for the wedding, or the weddings, because I actually took it to both weddings that I went to in August, and yeah, it was great. The second wedding I actually didn't wear it very much because it got very warm. But it was nice to have it, and it was kind of fun that I was like, yeah, I made this to go with my dress. So I did take some pictures, and they are on Instagram and on my Ravelry project page if you want to see it with the dress. So it's the Featherweight cardigan. Oh, I also knit a baby hat, which I don't have to show, because it was for a friend of mine for their nephew, I think it was, or someone in their family. And so someone was having a baby, and they're like, oh, can you knit a baby hat? We want to give them something handmade. And I was like, yeah, yeah. So I picked up some yarn from a local yarn store. It was Malabrigo Rios in a green colorway. I don't remember. It was one of the new ones. They'd just gotten it in. And they're like, oh, do you want the new colors? And I was like, oh, there's new colors? So I got a nice tonal green. And yeah, so I knit the Sea Monkey baby hat, which is pretty much you knit ribbing, and then you Kitchener the top, and then you pinch the edges, and it makes these cute little ears, and it's really adorable. So finish that. Then I went on a shawl knitting spree, and I started knitting my way through the Shawl Society by Helen Stewart. And I had signed up for that a while ago, and I had kind of picked some yarns for some of them, but I hadn't knit any of them yet. And the third one just came out, or not just came out a while ago. Anyway, I was like, I want to knit all the shawls. And I kind of thought of knitting them while I was in Hawaii, and then I just wanted to knit them now. So this is the Talisman shawl, and I knit it out of Voolenvine yarns in the Wolke base in the Succulents colorway. And I love it. I knit the small size. I almost did the medium size, but I wanted some... I was calculating my yarn percentage, and I would have had just enough to eke out the medium size. And I was like, I don't want to push it. And so now I have some left over that I can use in my blanket or some other project. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I haven't woven in the ends yet. I did block it though. Although it's been sitting in a pile waiting for me to show it to you. So that's that. So that's why there's some creases in it. But yay, I'm really happy with this. I love this yarn. It's a very nice base. You can see why everyone loves it. Very nice drape. And I'm very excited to be able to wear that in the fall, when it's not 90 degrees and like 85% humidity, which is what it's been like in the past few days. I've been taking 2 showers today. Like this morning I did my workout and I was dripping. It was disgusting. And so I was like, shower. Even now it's kind of warm in here. I have the windows open and the fan going, so I'm sorry you hear all the outdoor noise, but there's no way I'm recording with the windows shut because it's just too hot. So the next shawl was the amulet shawl, which speaking of outdoor noise, there's a plane going by. I haven't blocked this one yet, but I knit it out of the O-Loops yarn that I won from the Harry Potter cowl last year, and this is the Nargles colorway. And then I had, at the Knitting Pipeline Retreat, I had picked up some Leading Man Fiber Arts in the Royalty colorway to go with it. And I hadn't decided which shawl I was going to do, and then I saw this one and saw there was 2 colors. I was like, oh, perfect, that's what this is going to be. So it hasn't, obviously I haven't blocked it, but there's this lovely lace border there. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I must have made a mistake somewhere because somehow one side ended up with a ton more stitches than the other. Somehow I managed to fix it. There's some fudging along the edge in places. Okay, maybe a lot of fudging along the edge in places. But by the end I was able to even it out, and so that the border would work. That was really the most important thing. I was like, I want the border to be even and not have to fudge that. Because with the ribbing section, I was like, wait, I have like 2 more repeats on one side than the other. So I slowly started decreasing on one side and adding on the other side, so it kind of evened out by the end. But the pattern's well written. It was just, I don't know what happened. I probably wasn't paying attention and missed some increases or decreases or something. Anyway. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. I cannot wait to block it. I realize I still have my stitch marker in here, and that maybe I should take that out so that I don't block it with that in. Although I've totally done that. I don't know if you've ever done that. Soaked it and then realized that there's still stitch markers or like progress keepers in it. So I'm going to stick this in my bag before I forget. Yeah, I've totally done that, and then been like weaving the blocking wires in to pin it out and gone, oh, there's some stitch markers in this thing. Oh well. So that's the amulet shawl. Both of those are by Helen Stewart. So the next thing I finished was a really exciting collaboration with some very good friends of mine. Danny from One Twisted Tree and Stephanie from The Rested Stitch, who just had a birthday, so happy birthday, Stephanie. Anyway, we had been talking about doing a kit together for a very long time, and Stephanie was actually the one who initiated. She's like, I want to do a kit, let's do a kit. And so we contacted Danny and said, hey, do you want to do the yarn? Stephanie did the bag, and I did the design, and it's really exciting. So it's called the Forest Dreams Kit, and we're going to be releasing it later this month. I believe it's the 24th, that weekend. Details to follow, but it's kind of toward the end of the month. And yeah, so let me show you the pieces. So I finished the design last week, and I knitted up this week, and had test knitters knitted up this week, and blocked it yesterday, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So I'll show you the bag first. This is not the exact bag that you're going to get. Oops. It actually, I mean it is, but it's not the same color. So this is the bag, and if you don't know the Rested Stitch, Stephanie's bags, they're amazing, and they're made out of sweater fabric, like machine knit sweater fabric. But the kit ones are going to be a sage green. They're going to be the same cable, and they're a little smaller than her other ones. They're a shawl size, And they come with these lovely pull tabs on the side and this lovely zipper pull that has the rusted stitch on it. And the inside is the most exciting part, is leaves. So I've got remnants of random things in there, but leaves, and you can fold it over. I was doing this a lot when doing the kit, when knitting it up. You can fold it over and it makes this lovely little bucket. I've got remnants from the, I had some other One Twisted Tree that I was trying out some things on, and then I was trying to start the kit with these leaves, so I was having fun with that. So this is the yarn, and this is what's left from the shawl. So I was cutting it a little close. I was thinking about making it a little bigger, but that's what's left. And so here, I'll take everything out so you can see the inside of this bag. And it is lovely. It's super well made. It is got interfacing. It's nice and thick. No needles are poking out of this thing. And all the seams on the inside are finished, and it's beautiful. So that is going to be the bag, and it's going to be in a lovely sage green. And the shawl design is here. So this is the yarn that Danny dyed up, and it's also called Forest Dreams. And the shawl design features, it's mostly garter stitch. It's a crescent shaped shawl, so it's long and kind of thin. And it starts with this leaf, and then you kind of add more leaves as you go, and then the border is all leaves. Anyway, you could, when you block it, you could block out these as points if you wanted. I just threaded a blocking wire in and just made them flat, because that was the easiest thing to do. So that is this shawl design, and I haven't woven in my ends on this one either, because I finished it and blocked it yesterday. But you can wear it, I haven't put on a shawl in forever. You can wear it like this and tuck in the ends, so it's kind of scarf-like, and it's knit on a size 5, I believe, so it's pretty light and airy, and you can kind of see through it, but it's still warm, and Danny's yarn is amazing. So this is the prime fingering base, which is, I think it's a 75-25, I should know this, I don't have the ball band with me, but it is absolutely stunning. I love it, and it's, I don't know if you can see the colors, but it's mostly green, but it's got these browns and like rust colors in it that are absolutely amazing. So it's kind of that color of leaves when, like at the very beginning of fall, when the colors are just starting to turn, and it is absolutely stunning. So I'm very excited about that collaboration, and yeah, I've been holding it in for a very long time. We didn't want to announce it too early, but we didn't want to announce it too late, and I hadn't finished writing up the design, and it's all written up and test knit, and thank you so much to all my test knitters. They had to knit up really quickly. That's why I put a call out on Instagram for some testers, and I was like, I need some really fast test knitters because it needs to be done. And yeah, so I'm going to take pictures and mail the sample off to Danny so she can also have it for pictures for the kit. And so it will be available through Danny's website, onetwistedtree.com. And yeah, more details to follow, but that's the general gist of it. And it will be, yeah, so it's really, really exciting. So that's the last thing I finished. And yeah, that went by really quickly. So I'm just looking around me at my pile of things, and I think, oh, from the mainland. Oh, I should say that I keep forgetting this is behind me. This is the Batgirl print that was sent to me by Melinda of the Yarnder Woman podcast that her husband drew, and I absolutely love it. I finally got a frame for it, and I decided to just put it back here. So that's my Batgirl print, and I love it. So thank you so much, Melinda. But that's when you see me leaning over and seeing Batgirl peek over my shoulder. That's I showed it on the podcast when it came a while ago. But yeah, I finally got a frame for it. So it's been back there for a while, but I haven't recorded a podcast in a really long time. So yesterday when I was at the yarn store down in our Oak Park, I got some yarn, as one does. And I got for some projects that I have some of the yarn for, but not all of it. So I got my first hedgehog fibers, because I'd never actually, maybe I'd seen hedgehog fibers in person once before. I hadn't seen it recently. Anyway, so I picked up the pistachio colorway. I don't know if you can see that at all. But it's totally my colors. It's pastels with some speckles of like brown and orange and blue. Anyway, this is going to be beautiful. It's pistachio colorway, I think I said, and it's the skinny singles. So I picked up a skein of that, and that is going to be the next shawl in the Shawl Society. And I'm going to mix it either with some Madeline Tosh. Well, that actually goes really well. I didn't have this with me, but I knew I had it. So it's either going to be mixed with that, and they're both lace weight singles, or the leftovers of the Anzula Meridian, the gravity colorway that I have from my sweater, because I had to order another skein from Paradise Fibers, because they had it in the colorway that I needed. And it's not a single, but it is a lace weight, and I have a ton of it left because I just needed a little bit for the collar of the Featherweight, and so I have that. So one combination or the other is going to be the next shawl in that design. I looked it up while we were in the store because it's like, what do I need for this shawl? And the other thing I got was some Ba yarn, which I'd never heard of, but I think it might be something special in that shop. Anyway, I got the La Perla colorway and the 100% superwash merino to go with some Lost City Knits green that I have for a sweater. Stephanie and I both got this sweater pattern, and I was like, I want to knit this green, but I only have 2 skeins of it. And it's the Boathouse by Alicia Plummer, and it has, I think the one in the pattern has gray on just the top, and then the main body is like a peach color, but it has a couple stripes up here. And so I thought of getting a gray and then having the body be green, but I didn't have the green with me, and so I was like, I don't know what, like warm gray, cool gray, I didn't know. But Jessica was like, why don't you get a cream? I think that would look really nice. So thanks, Jess, for suggesting that, and I put it next to it. I meant to bring it with me to show you guys. Anyway, I didn't, but that is going to be the Boathouse by Alicia Plummer, and I'm very excited about that. So those are the 2 things, or I guess the 3 things, because you hadn't seen the rest of this, that I got. Yeah, so that's kind of exciting. I hadn't gotten some yarn in a while, but I have so much yarn to knit, and like it's all assigned to projects. I just actually have to knit those projects. But those were 2 for projects that I had planned that I had like half the yarn for, so it felt really good to just like get the rest of it and complete those things, because then I can actually knit those things. So those will probably be going with me to Hawaii. I don't actually know what I'm going to take for knitting, because I was thinking of taking the Shawl Society basically, but I ended up knitting 2 out of the 3 patterns. So I have to come up with some other things. I have another shawl that I'll probably take with me that's kind of, it's the Exploration Station that I started a while ago and then rethought my yarn choices, and I want to knit it again. So I'll be taking that with me probably, and because it's kind of an epic project. And probably some socks. I might need to get, I have sock yarn, but I don't, anyway, yeah. So we'll figure it out. I mean, I'll also do some other things. I'm going to be working part-time while I'm there as well, so it'll take up some of my time. I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So we went to Gen Con, like forever ago it feels like, and we got one game. We saw lots of games, but this year they had expanded the exhibition hall by 40%. I mean, this thing is huge to begin with, and now it's 40% bigger. My God, there's like 68,000 people there, and it just was nuts. So it felt weird to only come home with one game, but we didn't see anything that was like, oh my God, amazing, that wasn't kind of similar to things that we have already. Because we already have a lot of games. I'm looking at them because they're behind the camera there in the closet. And we don't really have a room for a lot, so we came home with one game, which is very popular. We just don't have it. And it's called Takenoko, and it's really cute. So in it, the story is that there's one emperor that gives another emperor, I forget which emperor gives what emperor, a panda. And the emperor that gets gifted a panda just turns him loose in his gardens because he's like, I got a panda, I'm going to make the panda happy. And of course the gardener gets very angry because the panda wants to eat all the bamboo that he's trying to grow. So you get different objectives where you are, you can move the gardener. So it comes with these little figurines. This is the gardener. You can move the gardener to grow bamboo. You can move the panda, who's so cute. I turned the autofocus off this week because it was really noisy last week, but now I can't focus things up close. But that's the panda. And so you can move the panda to eat the bamboo, or you can place tiles, or you can irrigate different tiles. These are kind of all over the thing here because, of course, I turned the box sideways and things. Actually, it's not as messy as I thought. But you have different different objective cards. So here the panda is trying to eat 2 green bamboo and you get 3 points for it. And so you have different objectives, and the other players don't know your objectives, so you're just trying to sneak around and either eat bamboo, and so here's the bamboo and you kind of stack it up on the board. Or there are these different tiles that you can lay, and you have to lay them in different patterns to earn points. Anyway, it's really fun. My husband and I played it once since we've been back. He's the one who found this game and wanted to get it. So, anyway, it's actually goes back in quite nicely. Haha! I thought I had turned it kind of sideways in the bag and kind of like halfway upside down, and somehow it didn't all spill out, which is really nice to know. But it comes with these cute cards that help you keep track of, because you roll a die to see if you get special abilities. And then you place your tokens to see, or to let other players know what you're planning on doing that turn, and you can collect irrigation, or because you have to water your bamboo to make it grow, and or other special things where you collect your bamboo here in the little panda thing, and it's really fun. So I'm heading over to my friend's house this afternoon. It's kind of a post-Gen Con game playing extravaganza, so we're all bringing the games that we got at Gen Con. And we've played some of them already, but I'm going to bring this, so I had it in a bag ready to go. And I wanted to show that to you. It's really cute. And of course you have to make the panda noises when the panda eats it's like, I'm going to go over here and eat some bamboo. It's really fun. And then you have the little gardener you move, and you're like, oh no, I need to grow some bamboo. It's really fun. Anyway, I think I'm going to let you go for this week. Thanks for not abandoning me, even though I haven't recorded in a month. I'll try not to ever do that again. I'm sorry. It just, things got crazy, and then we were out of town, and then in town, and then out of town, and then in town, and our schedule was just all over the place. And on days when I was home, I just didn't feel like, going anywhere or getting out of my PJs. And thanks for sticking with me, and I look forward to talking to you all soon. Bye.